Welcome to Scary Time by Indie Drop-In Network. Each week we feature an episode from the best independent creators. Subscribe for great scary content. If you would like to help support indie creators, check out our Patreon at the bottom of the show notes. Today's episode is from Tipsy Mysteries. Don't forget to check out the show notes for links to subscribe and follow on social media. Enjoy the show.
Begin.
3, 2, 1. Okay, since you've started something you can't finish. Fuck. ASMR Quarantine Edition 2020. Quarantine ASMR. Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals.
Hello.
If you're listening, you are here for our very special quarantine edition of Tipsy Mysteries. So if the audio sounds weird at all, we're very sorry. We're recording both from home, so we're trying out new software.
That's true.
If you hear coughing, banging, any other sound from my side, apologies.
I am,
Not much I can do.
since I'm not recording in my dining room, you probably won't hear barking because Moo won't be able to tell that there's people outside my door. So if it's really quiet on my side, that's why.
You'll never know. Be great.
Yeah.
If you guys are here, thank you.
Thank you.
How are you guys doing? Are you going stir crazy yet? Are you being safe?
Are you
you
having to work?
Washing your hands? Oof, I'm sorry.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. I guess with that, V, how was your week?
It was good because I had a job until yesterday. Well, I still have a job, but I was working until yesterday because 2 days ago they were like, by the way, since we're one of the 2 only stores still open in the U.S. out of 50, maybe we shouldn't be open? And we're like, okay. So I'm good.
All right.
I'm good. I'm just beginning my quarantine time, so.
See, I'm a seasoned veteran now. Because last Friday, last day of my job, company went under, super duper fun. So your boy is now unemployed.
Yeah.
Has been home all week. My entire room is clean and reorganized. Played a lot of Animal Crossing.
Right. There's a lot of Animal Crossing happening.
Do you guys play Animal Crossing? Do you want to be our friends?
Email us your friend codes.
Please.
Send it to us on Twitter or Instagram.
If y'all have apples, give me some apples.
I
I have cherries. I can give you some cherries.
have peaches.
Peaches.
I have peaches. I will give peaches.
Yeah, so if y'all want to be our spooky dooky friends.
We could even post pictures of what our town looks like, maybe.
Oh, that'd be so fun. Oh.
Start a little group and be like, hey, let's be friends.
Guys, would you want to do that? Oh, it's going to be so fun. You guys can't see it, but we're making our little, what would you call that?
I don't know.
Like pouty face, putting our fingers together, looking down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, would you want to, I don't know, play Animal Crossing? So, I think that's, pandemic's been fun.
How's been
2020's
fun. How's your week of quarantine?
Yeah.
You've been playing in a lot of Animal Crossing and
I spent, I think it was 4 or 5 hours the other day hand painting all of my clear thumbtacks with nail polish.
Oh my gosh.
Because I decided, I'm like, I'm going to make a pushpin board, but I don't have any good, cute pushpins. I'm like, wait, I have glitter nail polish. So each one is different. There's not a single one alike.
That's cute. The look of despair.
So it's been a fun time.
It has been. I'm
First time being unemployed since I was like 18. I'm like, shit, what do I do with myself?
right.
So also homework. I've done a lot of homework.
Still doing school, so that's
Yeah.
At least it's been keeping me
Fun.
occupied. I'm like, I don't have school or anything. I'm just like, well, I got to figure out a schedule of when I'm going to eat and walk my dog and work on stories like for the podcast and whatnot. And then Animal Crossing and maybe I'll work out. I don't know. Maybe I'll get buff during this quarantine time.
Okay. Please become the most Bara with me. Bara quarantine time, y'all.
Yeah.
2020. Here we are. Hope you guys are staying safe, though.
Yes, please stay safe.
I know it's really shitty for everybody. So if y'all need anyone to talk to, feel free to talk to us about spooky stuff or whatever. Yeah.
Like, talk to us and we can do our best to help take your mind off of what's going on, you know?
Because I didn't think this would ever happen. Oh, there's Abby. She's doing it! See? There she goes.
Bye-bye.
She Naruto ran up the
I
stairs.
saw.
That was beautiful. Well, speaking of stories, since you are here on my computer remotely,
I'm always
since I am in my house, you're always in my heart. Can I tell you a story from my heart?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it a spooky story with ghosts?
No,
Or is it cryptids with
yes.
ghosts?
Yes and no. So this is a mystery story.
Oh.
I'm trying to think of what can give it a hint without, like... I don't think you've... So this is a reincarnation story.
Oh, okay.
This is, like, one of the most documented ones. She's looking for Oliver. So, reincarnation story. I don't think you've heard about this one, but it is the most documented ones.
Huh.
This story is as bonkers, bananas, crazy town, 10 out of 10.
Ooh.
Would spook again.
Ooh. I'm gonna get spooked.
You get spooked? I've been excited to tell this one, but I need to, like, get all, like, the information. Because a lot of the articles I read, they didn't have a lot of the really good small details that were really funny. So your boy went and listened to some other podcasts, which, if y'all want a better version, I listened to a lot of Unsolved Mysteries by Parcast.
Ooh.
So that was good. That also helped with a lot of the pronunciation because this takes place in India.
Okay.
As a disclaimer, I did do my best to practice the pronunciation.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm still wrong, I'm so sorry, guys. I promise. I practiced and tried.
We're doing our best.
Doing our best.
But that reminds me. My lead and in my department was like, we should have a happy hour quarantine time where we just get on on a Zoom chat room.
That's what my parents been doing.
And just drink and then listen to V's podcast. And I'm like, no.
Can I join? Can I join?
Yeah, you can join.
Yes.
I won't be there. No. But if it happens, I will tell you all about it and have you join.
Please. I need to be a part of this. Watch your faces every time you hear yourself cackle. Ugh. Love that.
Not ready for it.
So, well, today, my dear friend, my dear listeners, I'm going to tell you the story of Shanti Devi.
Ooh. Okay. I'm ready. Tell me.
Okay, so Shanti Devi. She is one of the best cases of children's past life memories to ever be recorded.
Oh.
Again, stories, batshit.
Okay.
Banana bunkers. Love it. So, in the beginning, God made Prince. Anyway, in the beginning.
That's not how it worked.
Sorry, Prince made God. Yeah. So, in the beginning. On December 11th, 1926. So this takes place in the 30s. I thought that was interesting. In the small locality of Delhi, India, which is, I think it was a bit smaller at the time. It's bigger now, but this was in a small part of Delhi.
Yeah.
A baby girl was born named Shanti Devi. She was just like any other girl, except until the age of 4, she did not speak much and preferred to play alone. Her family would also notice that whenever Shanti would look out of a window out at their town, she would look confused and concerned. There's like, why is she looking like that?
Yeah.
What's she doing? She's live here. What's the point?
I'm like, she should just be enjoying the moment for what it is.
Exactly. But no, she's confused looking 4-year-old. So it was also around this time that her sister noticed that Shanti would often talk to herself, but she would use different words that her sister had never heard before.
Huh.
And these would in fact be in a different dialect
Huh.
entirely. Weird, right?
That's really weird.
But when she did start talking, it was as though she was a different girl. So she would talk about her husband and her child.
Huh.
Love it. So, 4-year-old running around being like, chilling.
Yeah.
So the sister told the mom, but the mom's kind of like brushed off as, that's her just imagination.
That's just her being an old soul.
Just her being an old soul. She's fine. Good. But that all changed one day when Shanti came up to her mom and asked for her picture of Krishna.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, where's my picture of Krishna? And her mom's like, what are you talking about? So the god Krishna is in Hinduism. So that wasn't a god that was particularly like celebrated in their house. So like, okay, first off, how does our 4-year-old know about this god? The fuck?
When did she become a religious old lady? With the husband and kids.
Come on, what's this about? Second of all, she had never owned a picture of Krishna.
Mm-hmm.
And so that just, some? Okay. Abby wanted some of my alcoholic seltzer. Yeah, it's okay. It's not great. It's not great, but it's fine.
I think it's the 0 sugar. It makes it taste weird.
Oh, is that 0 sugar?
Yeah, 0 sugar. Right
Mine.
when you find out it's 0 sugar, you don't want it anymore. I have something if you want to try it. It's like a strawberry margarita.
Ooh, yeah. Abby's bringing me better alcohol.
What a good sister.
What a good sister. The best. So yeah, her mom's like, you've never had this picture. The fuck you talking about?
Uh-huh.
So she was like, no, you don't have it. And so when she told Shanti that, Shanti got really upset. She just began to cry. She's like, no, I need my fucking picture. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, oh, it's little.
Aw.
Oh, it's little.
Those ones are good.
How much alcohol's in this?
3%. The first sip seems like it's a lot of alcohol, but after you keep sipping, it's not.
Okay.
Once you get into the drink, it's fine.
Ruby wants treats. Are you guys enjoying this episode? Get a lot of free background noises. You're welcome.
And this time it's not from my kids, because my cat is sleeping in the living room and my dog is watching my mom in the kitchen.
That would be the shaking of treats in the background.
ASMR.
ASMR. They're Scoopy snacks. ASMR 2020. Quarantine Pandemic Edition. So, she's like, you don't have the picture? Shanti's like, I do. I'm going to cry now. And it was at this point that Shanti began to change.
Mm-hmm.
So before she'd been like really calm and polite, she was now moody and temperamental. Not handling this well.
Yeah.
So she would then go to her mother and sister every single day, asking again and again for her picture of Krishna. She's like, no, I had it. I prayed to it every morning and every night.
Huh.
Give it back to me. They're like, you're 4. What the fuck are you talking about? So Shanti's, again, not handling this well.
Yeah.
So her mother did her best to reason with her and just try to get her to calm down, but it didn't work.
Understandable.
And, understandable. So this all kind of boiled over to a point when one morning Shanti went up to her mother and said, quote, this kid, quote, you are not my real mother. I am a Brahmin, wife from Mutra. I'm not living with you. This is not my real home. These clothes are not my real clothes. You have nothing to do with me.
What?
Yikes.
Ooh.
So for context, a Brahmin is an upper class married woman.
Yeah.
Like a very specific term that was not used commonly at that time.
Like, imagine when she becomes a teenager and she's just going through that angst phase. Like, oof.
Like, fuck you. Not my real mom. You got nothing to do with me. Oof.
Okay.
So that's happening. And then after this, again, this poor mother, Shanti asked for her red sari, which is a traditional Indian dress.
Yeah.
Like if you saw one, you'd recognize it. She's like, Mom, where's my red sari? which is also something that she had never owned. And so her mother went out and bought her one, hoping that it would, snap her out of whatever fantasy she was living in.
Yeah,
And
fantasy.
when she gave it to when she gave it to Shanti, expecting her to take it, she rejected it on the spot.
It wasn't fancy enough.
Literally, she's like, "That's not my red sari," and she said that her mother didn't know she didn't even know the proper fabric to buy.
Oof, high maintenance 4-year-old.
Right? Like, can you imagine being this poor parent? God.
Oof.
Mm-mm.
You thought you'd have a rebellious teen, but not a judgmental middle-aged 4-year-old.
You have, like, the brattiest 4-year-old. And so, that's all happening. Poor mom's like, really? Come on. Shanti then said, Abby, what are you doing? They're slapping each other. That is Abby and Alex in the background. Oh, they're about to get in a slapping fight. Uh-oh.
This is going to be fun to edit.
Ow! I'm sorry, Bee.
She just can't help it, apparently.
Oh, God, my arm hurts. You jerk off too much.
So this is why we don't record at your house?
Correct.
I'm glad that you guys can still be entertained during this quarantine.
Me too. Are you entertained?
I'm entertained. This is why I don't have kids, by the way.
Bea said this is why she doesn't have kids.
I was more about the 4-year-old, but this too.
Oh, yeah.
The more I call truth.
Where were we?
So the sari wasn't the right fabric.
Yes. Okay. So Shanti said that. And she then said that her husband was the only man who would know the proper sari, as he is a skilled silk trader. It's poor mom. She's like, really?
This is too much. Beautiful.
Thank you. Oof, that was powerful.
It's so powerful.
Aw, thanks. Shucks. So it was later that night when Shanti's father came home. And her mother pulled him aside and told him what had happened. And she's like, I don't fucking know what to do. And then she's like, I've never even heard of a place called Mutra, which is what she said before. I'm a Brahmin wife from Mutra. She's like, that's not even a fucking place. And so he's like trying to like collect all his thoughts. So he's piecing things together. And it's then that her father realizes that while there isn't any official place called Mutra, there is in fact a town named Mathura. She's like, I'm from Mutra, but there is a town named Mathura. And if you were to ask any of the people that live in Mathura where they're from, they would say, oh, Mutra.
Oh, okay.
So it was a very select local dialect that only people in that area used.
Oh, okay.
Like you wouldn't know about it if you lived outside of there. It was like a nickname for their town.
Yeah.
Crazy, yeah?
That's so weird. Because like then no one knows what this place is. No one's been there before that would know what she's even talking about. And she's just a 4-year-old who.
She's like, bitch, I'm from Mutra. Come on.
Yeah.
So, interestingly, this realization also helped connect another piece of the puzzle. As Mathura, the holy city, is known as the birthplace of the god Krishna.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Da-da-da.
Makes sense.
Though, right? So it's adding up. So, though the city of Mathura was over 100 miles away. So, how could their 4-year-old know about this?
Right? Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
There's no internet back then.
This was 1924. No, 1928. 1928. It's right now.
1928.
Oh, I love this part. So, the things only got weirder. So one night they're having dinner and Shanti's just refusing to touch her food. And her father, who's like getting tired of this attitude, he told her to eat the meal that her mother had prepared for her. To which she calmly replied that she was not her mother, just as he was not her father. Secondly, she would not be eating this curry as it was not vegetarian.
Oh, so now she's a vegetarian, and she knows the word vegetarian.
And like that was the other thing, is that wasn't a common diet at that time in Delhi, and no one in her family had that diet. So it's like, how the fuck she even know about that? She's like, not eating this. So, however, this was a common diet in Mathura.
Unsurprising.
Bum bum. And Shanti, again 4 years old, then told her parents that she wanted to prepare her food from then on.
What?
Rip this poor mom.
R.I.P.
Fucking 4-year-old. Oh.
We drink because of 4-year-olds.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Clink. So, it was later that night after that dinner, while Shanti was laying in bed. She had a dream where she was given a name, and that name was Lutki Devi. So they had those 2 last names are the same. There's no relation though, because Devi was a common surname in India at that time. So just clearing that up right now.
Okay,
no relation, but Lutki Devi instead of Shanti Devi. She also, in this vision, saw happy memories of her past life, including a bright yellow house and the temple of Krishna. It was also that night that Shanti's parents came to the realization that their daughter was in fact remembering her past life. So this was the natural conclusion for them.
Yeah.
As in Hinduism,
reincarnation.
Yeah. Makes sense. That just is a part of life, which, big mood. That's what I believe in.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me. So I love seeing stories like this. I'm like, boom, bitch. But however, at this time, they decide, like, well, they're like, okay, she's probably remembering this. She shouldn't be, though, because at this time there was a lot of like older texts in India that they commented how it was, you're going to look down on people that are remembering their past lives, because essentially, if you're remembering your past life to the extent that she was, it's going to inhibit you from living in your current one.
That's true.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
I feel like that's
don't
definitely
do it.
happening right now. But she can't.
Yes, so she's like, fuck you guys. So, because it was like seen as pretty much taboo, her parents were like, hey, we need to keep this as a secret because, oof, can't deal with this. She's been a lot. Okay. So, because of all this, it was also during this time that Shanti found it very difficult to spend time with other children.
Obviously. She found the drama and problems of elementary school life pointless and trivial. She also couldn't help but voice her opinion when it came to immature acts and comments. And again, like 4 fucking years old would be at school and be like, this is the problem with kids our age. Me in high school.
You were in high school. You're the old soul now.
I just don't remember my past life, so. Or if I had
repressed,
maybe.
Oh, very fair. Oh, do you want to do past life regression with me?
I'll try it.
I'll try it. Ooh, I need to find out at what point I was hung. Need to close that chapter. Get closure for that.
Yeah.
Hope as a cowboy though.
Probably. Aren't you like related to one of the Billy the Kids?
I am, and the gunslinger he hung out with. I still need to Billy the Kid story. Anyway,
Another day.
So yeah, she's like, it's fucking kids our age, and they're like, hi, we're all 4. What are you talking about? Come on. So fast forward. By the time that Shanti was 6 years old, she'd had enough of this. She decided that she needed to go home. So she went out and was determined to get to Mutra, even if she had to walk the whole fucking way there.
Okay.
That's what she did. So she went out and she's going through town. She's like, I'm just going to walk there. I'm done. It was then that one of their family friends, who was a lawyer, he ended up seeing the 6-year-old walking alone through town and was like, the fuck is she doing? So he caught up with her and asked her if she'd gotten lost. He's like, Shanti, are you okay?
Yeah.
She confidently replied, I'm going to Mutra. And when the lawyer laughed, he stopped once he saw the seriousness in Shanti's eyes. And then he asked her to explain further. She's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
It was then that Shanti told him about her past life, and the usually serious lawyer was confounded by the demeanor that she spoke with. And he would later say that in that moment, he did not see a child looking up at him, but rather an adult. Because like the way she held herself and everything is like, that's not a fucking kid.
Yeah.
So he took her hand and he let her back home. He convinced her to like, yeah, listen, Matura is too fucking far to walk for anybody, even an adult.
Yeah.
We'll figure something out. Okay. So a little while later, while asleep, Shanti had another vision of her past life.
Mm-hmm.
But this time it wasn't a happy one. Ew.
Oof.
She found herself in a small sterile chamber that wasn't in Matura, but instead somewhere else. And it was then that she realizes that this is where Ludgi Devi had died.
Oh.
So, yeah. She's like, what's going on? So she's kind of slowly piecing things together.
Mm-hmm.
So as Shanti grew older, so fast forward and she's 8 years old.
Okay.
She persisted in asking her parents to be taken to Matura. However, when her family would ask her for more details, such as the name of her husband that she was always talking about, she was reluctant to say. Important note that will make more sense. It was at this time, it was customary in India that wives not utter the names of their husbands.
Mm.
So they're asking, like, what's your husband's name? She's like, I can't fucking tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Just can't do it. So just as a side note.
Yeah.
But even when specifically asked, she would just blush and said that if she saw him, she would recognize him. And they're like, okay.
That'd be so weird, though.
Right.
I'd be so
Yeah.
awkward. No, thank you.
Me too. That's the mood.
Nice.
Okay, so this is all happening. Her parents are like, trying to keep things bottled up, essentially.
Yeah.
But word spread.
Oh, no.
So one day, there's a knock at the door. This is a recurring theme.
Mm-hmm.
As a little spoiler. A little treat.
Okay.
As a treat. So one day, the headmaster from Shanti's school and her favorite tutor visited the house as word about her remembering her past life spread. They'd come on behalf of the school as they wanted to assist in any way they could, since Shanti was one of their top students. So they didn't want to leave her to suffer with what she's going through. They're like, okay, let's come in and see if we can help.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Right? And so they were like, okay, what can we do? We want to see if we can help you find out more about the identity of Ludgi Devi. And it was them that also asked the name of her husband.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, kind of just after, like, getting asked and asked, they're like, okay, come on, tell us. And finally, what I think it was the tutor that said, if you tell us, we can take you there. And she's like, fine.
Mm-hmm.
So she finally agreed, and she gave the name. The name was Kedar Narth.
Okay.
So his full name is Kedar Narth. I'm going to call him Kedar from now on.
Okay.
For the sake of not fucking up. And so after they learned the name, the headmaster and the tutor, they wasted no time.
Okay.
They told the family that they would get in touch with their contacts in Matura and see if they could, like, actually track down this guy.
Yeah.
Like, is he even real?
Or
where's Kedar?
Or even if he's alive still.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, let's go find out. And so, a few weeks later, there's a knock on the door.
Oh, no.
It was Kanji Chutney. He had arrived at the house. He was Kedar Narth's cousin.
Oh.
And he had come with news. He informed Shanti's parents that Kedar was still alive, but the memory of Ludgi was a painful one. So the cousin, he needed to meet Shanti in order to make sure that they wouldn't be causing any needless heartache for his cousin.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I just don't want you guys fucking with him, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, Kanji's there. When he asks where the girl in question is, it was then that Shanti came into the room and immediately jumped into Kanji's arms.
Wow.
He was taken aback as Shanti began to recount the memories they had shared together, along with the fact that Kanji used to have a crush on Ludgi. Yes, bitch, call him out.
That's also very awkward because she's
Yeah,
6
so
right now.
I think she's
Or
8.
eight.
She's 8.
But still, it's too young.
Essentially, he's like, so he like sets her down. It's like, she's right. I did have a crush on Ludgi.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of confirms it for him. And so he begins to listen more to her.
Mm-hmm.
And after she was done talking and kind of telling him her story, he was shocked. And he told her parents that everything she had said was true. And he's like, okay, I'm going to have Kedar come down to Delhi as soon as I can because this girl's the real deal.
Yeah.
It's a real deal.
Yeah. So Kedar is gonna Kedar Kudar.
So it's
So Kudar is gonna come and visit now.
yeah, so it's like, okay, I'm gonna get my cousin to come down. Okay. So it was later that night that Shanti told her family the story of how Shanti Devi died.
Ooh, that's what I want
That was
to know.
it.
It's like, she knows what happened, and I want to know.
She knows what happened. So she told them how during every month of her married life, Shanti had traveled to the local temple of Krishna, praying that she could bear a child for her husband. And soon enough, the couple was gifted with the pregnancy. However, when Shanti came to term, she fell seriously ill for weeks, and she was forced to stay in Kedar's house, just on bed rest. She was locked away in the master bedroom as she was unable to move.
Yeah.
Which is not doing great.
Yeah.
But before she entered labor, she was taken to another city and put in a small room within a large hospital.
The sterile room.
The sterile room. And it was here that Shanti gave birth to her son, Nonita Lal. But Shanti tragically died while giving birth, and she was only 23 years old.
Aw, sad.
I know, it was sad. It was sad. And so, 1 year, 10 months, and 7 days after Shanti's death, Shanti was born. Suffice to say, her parents were shocked.
Wow.
And at a loss for words and unsure to how to comfort their child. She's 8 and she's crying while telling them this traumatic story that, essentially happened to her. They're like,
but she doesn't even have happened to her right now.
Exactly.
She doesn't have to experience that yet.
Boom, boom. So, a few more weeks pass. There's a knock at the door.
Another knock. I wonder who.
Another knock at the door. They open it and they see a stranger. He's wearing a thick coat, glasses, and a large furry hat. He's like, "Hi, I'm Kedar Narth's older brother. Listen, Kedar sends his apologies. He couldn't be here. He didn't have enough time to travel here. So I'm here on his behalf." And they're bummed. They're like, "Okay, come in."
Yeah.
He comes in. It was then that Shanti came into the room and froze. At that moment, she ran right up to him and said, "Kedar Narth, my husband." And she was right. Kedar had disguised himself in order to test her. But Shanti had known it was him. Saw right through him.
It's crazy.
Right? He's like, So he was shocked.
Yeah.
Because of this, Kedar fell to his knees in front of the 8-year-old girl and said, "My Lutki, it cannot be. My Lutki." It was then that another person stepped inside.
Yeah.
A young boy only a year older than Shanti.
I wondered who.
Who could it be? It was Nonita. It was Lutki's son.
How awkward.
How awkward. Again, she's fucking 8. Ugh. So when Shanti saw him, she walked over and something about her freaked him out. So he just hid behind Kedar. And this caused Shanti to start crying. She's really sad.
Yeah, that's her son. But
That's her son.
A year younger than him.
Right? That's so sad. And so it was then that Nonita came over to comfort her. She was like, "Don't worry." And Shanti got so excited and she asked her mom to bring down all of her toys and give them to Nonita.
Aww.
I guess her mom didn't do it fast enough, so she ran up herself and gave them to him.
Have all the toys.
Have all the toys. And so Kedar was confused. Like, okay, how did you know that this is Nonita? You didn't even get to meet him. So he died during childbirth. And she explained that her soul, so that her son had always been a part of her soul. And that the soul was able to easily recognize this fact. So, there's that.
Yeah.
She then asked her mother to prepare some meals for their guests. And when her mother asked her what she should prepare, Shanti said that Kedar was fond of stuffed potato potaras and pumpkin squash. And he was dumbfounded as these were his favorite dishes. I was like, how does she fucking know that? Come on.
That's his wife.
It's his wife. Regret.
We drink to that.
Cheers. Chug, chug, chug. Me too, buddy. So it was after dinner when Nonita fell asleep that Shanti returned to Kedar's side, saying that she came out. She's like, "Listen, I got a few questions for you. First, she asked if he had done what she told him to do with the money that she had hidden under their bed. He shook his head. So Ludgi had wanted him to donate the money to the Temple of Krishna, but he had instead used it to pay for Ludgi's funeral expenses.
Mm-hmm.
So Shanti was disappointed, but she continued. She's like, oh, okay, I guess.
Understandable, I guess.
Understandable. She's like, next question. She asked if he had kept his promise not to remarry. Kedar looked away as he shamefully answered no, and that he had in fact remarried.
Oof, the heartbreak. The drama
heartbreaks,
this
though.
would be.
That's what Alex said. She's like, is this a fucking anime?
But I also don't want this drama. Because I don't want people to be like, they should still be together. No.
Ew, no. Don't like that.
I need
No.
to like learn how to move on and live as an 8-year-old.
Seriously, fine. Ugh. So he's like, yeah, I got remarried. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So Shanti was, quiet for a few minutes before she spoke again. She said that she knew that Kedar was not a perfect husband, and that this 8-year-old, she also knew that during Ludgi's illness, he had taken up an affair with one of the nurses.
Oh, no.
She said that one night, Ludgi had managed to struggle out of bed and found herself in front of the guest room. Inside, she overheard Kedar and the nurse making love.
Oh, no.
Oh, ouch. So, as Shanti's saying these things, to Kedar, all the color drains from his face.
Oh, now he knows his wife knew.
Can you fucking imagine? This 8-year-old's like, yeah, you cheated on me. You're kind of shitty. Oh, sorry. So with that, he took Shanti's hands into his, and he openly wept. Said that, yeah, you're right. He's just begging this 8-year-old girl for forgiveness.
Okay.
I don't think she should forgive him.
No.
Whatever.
Also, she's 8, so she needs to move on.
It's fucking right. Oof. So, it was at this time that the story of Shanti Devi, remembering her immediate past life, began to spread, even making its way all over the country as the media and many intellectuals got interested in it. They're like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah.
What's the truth here? Soon after, Shanti and her family received another knock at the door.
Oof.
Who could it be?
Who is
Can you
it?
take a guess?
Is it...
This is in India in the 1930s.
I don't want to say the wrong person, so I don't know.
Big mood.
I don't know.
Big mood. Well, it was none other than Mahatma Gandhi. So,
Of course.
Gandhi was at their fucking door.
Yes.
The usual.
The usual.
The usual.
The usual.
Just another knock at the door.
Just another
Who
knock.
could it be? Oh, it's just Gandhi.
It was
Okay.
Gandhi.
Cool.
It's fine.
It's Gandhi. No, don't worry about it.
Just a prophet.
Just
Okay,
chilling.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, So, he had heard about Shanti Devi and he wanted to meet her for himself.
Mm-hmm.
When he got there, he talked to Shanti and listened to her story. And when she finished
Mm-hmm.
telling him, everything,
Yeah.
he turned to her parents and said, quote, "You can't prevent the girl from confronting her destiny. You can't oppose the law of karma. Nobody can.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is governed by karma. Karma is life.
It's true.
What is needed is more truth. Never step aside from the way of truthfulness, whatever it may cause." Chilling.
Yeah.
And her parents are like, okay, Gandhi. We'll do that.
Whatever you say, Gandhi.
Whatever you say, Gandhi. Don't worry. It's okay. It's fine. So, with that, Gandhi then appointed a committee of 15 prominent people, including parliamentarians, national leaders, and members from the media, to study the case. The committee persuaded her parents to allow her to accompany them to Mathura. They're like, hey, let's take her there and let's document what happens. Let's see, if she's being truthful, if she actually is the reincarnated soul of Boogie Devi. Chill.
And like they need more proof after everything else.
Yep.
Okay.
So they left by rail with Shanti on November 24th, 1935. Again, she's around 8. The committee's report describes some of what happened. So I'm gonna tell you what happened while they were there.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So the committee members took her in a tonga. So think of it's kind of like a cart
Mm-hmm.
They used to get around at that time.
Yeah.
And they instructed the driver to follow her directions. On the way, she described the changes that had taken place since her time, which were all correct. And she had even recognized some of the important landmarks that she had mentioned earlier without having been there. She's like, oh, that used to not be there. Oh, that's changed. And they're like, okay, you're 8 and this is 100 miles away from your house. Okay.
Okay.
Chilling. So as they neared one of the houses, she got down from the Tonga and noticed an elderly person in the crowd. She immediately bowed to him and told the others that he was her father-in-law.
Oh.
She was again correct. He's like, oh, hey, what's up?
Oh my gosh.
Well, 8-year-old, okay. Chilling.
That's cool. That's fine.
That's cool. That's fine. However, when they got to the house, they could all see that it was white instead of yellow. Because remember, she'd had those visions and remembered the house being yellow. And so there was like a mix of people on the team that were skeptics and then believers.
Yeah.
And those that were skeptics were like, oh, point to us. Tee-hee-hee.
They could have painted the house.
See? So they went and talked to the father-in-law about it because he was the one that owned the house.
Mm-hmm.
And he had said that it had originally been yellow for many years. And it was only like the last year that they painted it white.
Oh.
Point to Shanti. Ba-ba. So when Shanti reached the front of the house, she went in without any hesitation and was able to locate her bedroom. She also recognized many items of hers. Oof. And she was even tested. They're like, okay, where's the bathroom? She's like, oh, it's fucking over there. And they're like, shit, she's right. Love that. So
okay.
After this, Shanti was then asked to be taken to her other house where she had lived with Kadar for several years.
Uh-huh.
She's like, I want to go back home. So she guided the driver there without any difficulty. Again, when they arrived, one of the committee members asked her about a well that she had previously talked about. So this is back in Delhi. She mentioned, she's like, oh yeah, my house had a well where I took baths. It was kind of in the courtyard.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, okay, where's the well then? And so she ran in one direction, but she didn't find the well there. And she's like, no, this is where it was. I know this is where it was.
Yeah.
And so after insisting that she fucking knew where it was, Kadar removed a stone at that spot, and sure enough, they found the well. Point to Shanti. I guess they'd done some remodeling. Oh, fuck.
Uh-huh.
And I kind of just gotten covered over. But she knew.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there was some more hidden money.
Oh.
So Shanti took the party to the second floor and showed them a spot where there was a flower pot. And she's like, okay, I put some money in the flower pot. That's where I hid it. They take out the flower. There's no money. And she's like, no, I put the money there. And they're like, we don't think it's here. And it wasn't until a little later that Kadar finally confessed. He's like, yeah, I took the money after she died.
Oh, no.
Yeah, this guy.
Ew.
This guy. Not great.
He's
Shanti
really
deserved
not
better.
good, yeah.
Yeah, Shanti deserved, or Ludgi and Shanti deserve better. Oof.
Yeah.
Get your shit together, Kadar.
Right?
Oof.
Ugh.
So, yeah, took the money. It's like, oh, sorry. Oof. She then asked to be taken to her family home. And when she was taken there, so to her parents' house,
Yeah.
she recognized both her mother and her father. And when she did, their mother and daughter wept openly at their meeting. And it was a scene that moved everybody there.
Aww.
Like, their daughter they lost when she was 23. So they see her again.
That must be awkward to, like, be the mom of Shanti and then be like,
Yeah.
this is my kid. I raised
That was
this
a
kid."
problem. Like, the parents were worried that if they took her there, that she would want to stay. But it's okay. She's like, okay, I'm ready to go back to my real parents. And they're like, oh, thank God.
Oh.
So it's more like that closure being needed,
Yeah.
essentially.
Being all like, this is all true. This is who I used to be.
Exactly. So that happens. Shanti was then taken to the Dwakarish temple, Temple of Krishna, essentially.
Yeah.
And to the other places she had talked of earlier. And almost all of her statements were verified to be correct. There's like, we don't fucking, she should not be able to know any of this.
Yeah.
Should not be anyway. But, you know, she does. So it was after this entire trip that the publication of the committee's report, they published it. And it attracted worldwide attention. Many important people, including saints, parapsychologists, and philosophers came in to study the case. They're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Are you lying? What's the fuck?
Yeah.
The fuck? You know.
Like, is this just
Chill.
like a staged thing that's happening, or is this like for real?
Exactly. So some came in support, and then some came as critics, and we're like, okay, we're going to prove it's a hoax, because that's what we think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Shanti Devi's case is also very significant, as for the fact that it is one of the most thoroughly investigated cases studied by hundreds of researchers, critics, scholars, saints, and other famous public figures from all parts of India and abroad from the mid-30s on. So they've had this nearly 100 years to study it, and which is bonkers to me.
Yeah.
Crazy. So there was even one critic named Sturlunderstand. I couldn't find a pronunciation for his name. Sorry. This guy, famous critic. Let's go with that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
When he heard of the case, he came all the way from Sweden to expose the fake, as he thought it was.
Uh-huh.
But after doing his own investigation, he wrote, quote, "This is the only fully explained and proven case of reincarnation there has ever been," end quote. A mic drop.
Right? Oh my gosh.
So I felt that was like pretty cool.
That's amazing.
Okay.
I love it when like
So
people who are like completely
skeptics are like,
Yeah.
oh, prove rappers.
they're when they completely do like a 180 and they're become like a true believer in things. I love that.
That's what feeds my soul personally. Yes. Being proven right. Quality Leo trait. Max is nodding his head as well.
Sounds about right.
You're welcome. So if you're like me, you're wondering, okay, so reincarnation cases. Why with this one did Ludgi Devi come back with such full consciousness? And apparently in later years, Shanti Devi was interviewed and asked this question essentially. You know, how did she come back with full consciousness?
Yeah.
Like, what difference did that make that happen? So to this, she replied that after years of meditation, she had come to terms with the two sides of her soul and was now at peace. And that, like, side note, going to Mathura and seeing her loved ones and seeing her husband and seeing her child was able to kind of put Ludgi to rest and kind of like let that part of her soul have closure, and so she could move on.
Because like she wanted for so long to have a child and be with her husband and have this perfect life that she apparently had, and then to kind of realize, okay, like I still did have that child, like I did have that marriage, and it didn't, like, things weren't as great and perfect as I thought it was.
I deserve better.
Be like, okay, this is this isn't just something in my mind. This is actually real. Like this was my life at one point.
Exactly. So
I
like
think that's
apparently
for her,
which is really what it came down to, because she kind of explained it, like, again, after meditation, she kind of figured out what had happened. She said that what had happened was that Ludgi, she knew that she was dying. And so as she lied there in the hospital, she chanted the name of Krishna over and over again like a mantra until she passed away. And it was because of that, just like having that going on and on, and keeping her conscious. So that, and then the love she had for her husband and her child, and that just longing to return. She came back the way she did, essentially. And so Shanti was born. And I wish Shanti could have moved on. I wish she could have. But she continued on with life. But she never got married. Because in her mind, she was still married to Kedarnath, even though he's kind of the worst.
Yeah.
But whatever. It's fine.
Most men are back in the 20s and 30s.
Disgusting.
And
terrible men. Anyway. Yeah. And it was on December 27th, 1987, that Shanti Devi passed away of natural causes at the age of 61.
Aww.
Side note, the rest of her life was pretty quiet. She never made any money or capitalized on her story.
Yeah.
As an important fact. So again, I think it really was just like, I need to go to Mathura. I need to get that closure.
Yeah.
And when she had that, she's able to move on.
Yeah.
I guess besides not getting remarried.
Well, as long as she lived a life that she felt like was more fulfilling than before.
That's my hope.
Yeah. And like marriage doesn't mean that you're happy. So
That's true. That's true.
like, I don't believe that marriage is going to fix anything, or being with someone
Nah.
is going to fix anything or make you
Nah.
happier. So maybe she
In the
found peace within herself, being like, I am happy with who I am and with the life I have, instead of living a life wanting to,
return to the old one.
yeah, instead of just being like, I just want to go back to my old life and go back to my husband and my kid and all this. Now she's like, well, now I can live my life for me and for my God that I believe in. So
Exactly. So
and find that fulfillment in herself. So
I hope she got that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the story of Shanti Devi.
That's good.
Scale of 1 to 10, how bonkers bananas is that?
That was a ride. That was
The ride and a half.
oof.
I love sassy little 4-year-old being like,
Right?
fuck your dinner, fuck your cooking,
Fuck this.
not my parent, not this fabric. Wowie zowie.
That was a good one.
Thank you. Okay, I need to get some food. We'll be right back. 3, 2, 1, and we're back.
And we're
I
back.
had some meatballs and we played some Animal Crossing.
Sounds about right. Beautiful.
Alex is behind me now, so you'll see some. So V will see some feet. You guys get to imagine feet behind me.
I no. So pretty much I'm gonna just block that visual with my document I have here on my story.
Okay. Give me. I love our guessing game every week, and I will continue to tell you this every week because I love it.
I had a second one. Okay, so
ASMR. Pandemic Edition 2020.
Pandemic ASMR.
Okay. Give me. Let's see. Is it paranormal, true crime, cryptid, mystery?
It's more on the paranormal side.
Ooh.
It is a thing that if you've known me long enough, you know these are the things that I hate the most.
Are you doing a doll?
I am definitely doing a doll.
Oh my god. Give one hint of one of the dolls. There's too many dolls.
This is a very famous doll.
Is it?
Not
They're
Annabelle.
lesbians, Harold?
No.
Is it?
But
could it be?
it's the one that you always think is named Harold.
Is it good old Bert?
It is Robert the doll.
Robert the doll. Oh, he's scary as shit. Oof.
Like, his story.
Sorry, he's
has
beautiful and
definitely-
wonderful. I am not cursing you. It's great.
Do not let him curse you, because then you'll have to write a letter, like many of the many visitors who come to visit him in Key West, Florida.
Robert, I'm saying you're scary as like a compliment. As a short person, that's a lot of power to have. So I'm respectful. I'm very respectful of you. Please don't haunt me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh.
He is apparently, him with also like the Hasbro My Buddy dolls is apparently what inspired the Child's Play movies, and the Chucky doll.
Oh, that's right. Chucky
Apparently,
2.0,
like-
bitch.
So
I'm ready.
you know that there is 5 movies since 2015 that came out about Robert the doll. Like,
Wait.
they made the first movie in 2015 and then came out with 4 sequels for it.
Was it the
And it-
boy?
No. I've heard about The Boy, and I've heard about like what the plot twist in that movie, and so that doesn't make sense with this.
Oh,
But it's like a terrible B grade movie. Like, the reviews on that was so funny.
you want to get drunk and watch it?
No.
I'll get drunk and watch it and then tell you how it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because like I looked at like the cover of it, and it's like said like before Chucky and like before Annabelle there was Robert, and I was like, okay. And like the way that they made the doll, I'm like, okay, this is really creepy looking, and I don't like it.
Wait, what's the name of it?
Robert the doll. Just look up Robert the Doll movie.
Okay. Robert the Doll movie.
Because I was looking this up, and I'm like, why is there a movie?
Oh, why does
I'm
he
like,
look like that?
Right? And like, you look up what the real doll looks like, and you're like, that makes no sense.
Like, Robert's very cute compared to this. This is...
Oh, yeah. That is... No.
I showed Max, and he just recoiled inside of himself.
Like, no child would want to play with that doll. No.
No.
It makes no sense.
He's... Oh, I guess he's in a sailor outfit, but you barely see it.
Yeah.
Like, the real Robert is very cute.
He's not as scary, because, like, if you think about how he looks like one of those, like, mannequin dolls that you would see in, like, a Child's Place. Is it the Child's Place? One of those children's stores.
Yeah. No, he
looks like one of those mannequins.
He looks like one that if I saw in a vintage shop, I'd be like, oh, that's cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, I'm very excited to hear about Bert, good old Birdie.
So
good old Rob.
So when you see him, he's just like a... He doesn't really have too many details on his face or anything.
No,
but he's like a life-size child in a sailor suit. And so right now he has like, what is it? Like two like pinhole, like nubby, beady black eyes.
Mm-hmm.
He's covered in like brown nicks around his face and head. And it looks like scars, which is really weird. So I'm like, that's uncomfortable when you look at the pictures of him. And like the nub of his nose looks like a pair of pinholes.
Okay.
And apparently, I don't see the smirk, but people say he has like a malevolent smirk.
Oh, I've heard like if you like you'll see him and then when you look again, it's there kind of thing.
Yeah. Like a lot of people have claimed that like he changes his expressions a lot.
I've heard people say he frowns. That's the thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And then he has like he has a toy dog on his lap. Usually.
Does the dog have a name?
I don't know.
Can we give the dog a name?
What
do you think Robert would approve of for his little dog's name?
Maybe he would like a little Jean.
Oh, Jean the dog. Jean and Robert.
So let me just start with saying that.
Oh, he's a big boy. Sorry, I forgot how big he was.
Yeah, he's literally a life-size. So a lot of people know him as like one of the most haunted and most famous haunted doll, and that he has caused car accidents, broken bones, job loss, divorce, and a cornucopia of other misfortunes. And his story begins 116 years ago.
Oh,
and right now he lives in Fort East Martello Museum in Key West, Florida, and they do ghost tours, where you can like kind of visit a bunch of different haunted things in Florida with this one company I was looking up.
Can we go?
Yeah. I was going to say there's a ghost tour called Ghosts and Gravestones that does a bunch of haunted tours, and they go to this they go to the museum, and you can visit him that way, or you can just go to the museum yourself. It's really
Can we go to
interesting.
Both?
We can, and we can also stay at some place I'll mention later.
Road trip. Or maybe fly.
116 years ago, there's a lot of debate. Well, not 116 years ago there was the debate, but there was a debate about the origin of Robert 116 years ago. Well, for a long while, a lot of people, like this is what I had learned at first years ago, was that some claimed that Robert was given to his late owner, who was named Robert Eugene Otto, who went by Gene. A lot of people said that he was a gift by one of the family's maids as retaliation of wrongdoing, and that there was some voodoo curse put onto the doll. And that's kind of what they thought it originated from. There was also some debate about how it was a gift from his grandfather. And so there was some digging that happened from the people, the officials at the museum, at Fort West Martello Museum.
Work there?
Do you want to work there? I know that you would probably enjoy that.
I want to work there.
Continue. Yeah, so they did some digging, and they found out that Robert had never actually intended to be a doll in the first place. They found out and traced his origins to the Steiff Company, which is the Steiff, I don't know, was the same toy company that designed the very first teddy bear that was like for like
the oldest
Theodore Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, that's the same company.
So
okay.
Mm-hmm. So a historian from that company told the museum that he was most likely a part of a window display. So he was meant to be just a mannequin.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That would make sense with like the way he's constructed does look very like the seams remind me of very mannequin like. Damn.
Exactly. And so like a lot of people are like, okay, so like the claim, like there was that debate, was it from the maid or was it the grandfather who came from Germany and brought him this gift? And they're like, either way, he came from this company from Germany, and the little sailor suit that he is wearing was not supplied from the company either. And they had proposed that it was actually an outfit that Gene Otto had worn himself as a child.
That's what I had heard. So he's like, you wanted a matching one.
Yeah. So he wore that same outfit, and I actually found a picture of Gene in that sailor suit, and I was like, that is... Oh, yeah. I'll look for it later.
Okay.
I'll send it to you.
You keep talking. I'll look real fast.
Okay. So, even so, Robert's quote-unquote life didn't start until he met Robert Eugene Otto, who became a eccentric artist and a member of a prominent Key West family. And so, before Robert became this legend, he was just Gene Otto's best friend.
Yeah.
And the young Otto was so enamored with the doll that he named it after himself and then clothed it with his very own clothes and carried it wherever he went.
Oh, that's right.
Yep. So despite like Robert being like a life-size, giant, awkwardly sized doll, the two were always together. Gene was so close to his new friend that his parents would often hear him whispering to Robert, and they thought it was totally normal. Like, okay, it's like an imaginary friend, except it has something physical to it. But until one day they started to hear a deep voice answering back.
Oh, I think the fuck not.
Gene. Right?
Not in my good Christian household. No.
Apparently, Gene had loved the doll so much he had built a special room for him in the attic, complete with furniture, toys, and even a teddy bear just for the doll. And then,
but he built this himself, or did like someone else?
Like as he was getting older.
Okay, I'm imagining like really shitty like 5-year-old craftsmanship. This is a couch. Though. It would be cute though. You're right.
Like just made out of cardboard boxes.
Aww.
That'd be adorable. So then stranger things started happening in the household. According to legend, Gene's parents would wake up in the middle of the night only to find their son screaming and surrounded by overturned furniture. And then Gene would also begin to blame mishaps on the doll. And they at first they're like, oh, okay, sure, whatever. They were laughing it off as like, okay, he's just putting the blame on the doll. They started noticing different weird occurrences, especially as Gene and Robert were getting older. Mutilated toys had also apparently started appearing in their home, and then but Gene would often say that Robert did it.
That's right. He's like, Robert did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, did you already say that he went by Gene because Robert was...
No, he already went by Gene, so he went by Rob. So he named the doll Robert after himself.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, he always went by Gene.
Oh, okay. I think I heard a version where he was named Robert, but he's like, nope, I'm giving the doll my name now.
Well, yeah, his first name is Robert, but he always went by Gene.
Okay, gotcha.
At least from what I've noticed. What the fuck?
What was that?
You can't just do that. You can't just walk in my room while I'm telling a story. My mom just turned on my light and I couldn't even see my screen.
It was so funny.
So my cat just randomly came into my room and I was like, that is not cool. So eventually Robert was moved to the attic where he remained for a number of years. And Gene had went on to study at the Academy of Fine Arts in Chicago and the Art Student League in New York. And then he also went to Paris Sorbonne. I don't know how to say these things. where he met his future wife, Anne.
Okay.
And then so after a while, Gene had inherited his family's home in Key West after his parents had passed. And at that time, when he went back and he found Robert in the attic, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna return him back to the old bedroom, and so he'll have his own room." So,
okay.
By then, Gene had been working as an artist, and local folklore had insisted that Gene would spend his days alone in his mansion painting with his old friend Robert. So there's that, you know.
Okay, I'm personally imagining, you know, that scene in Ghost where he's like behind her and they're like making pottery, but it's him behind Robert. They're painting.
Him holding Robert as they paint. Oh gosh, no. Please don't curse me.
Robert, I think it's a very cute idea.
There's been many tales of the wife's disdain for Robert. There was conflicting rumors that had surfaced, some alleging that Gene's wife had died from insanity after locking Robert in the attic, while others report that Gene died with Robert by his side. So we don't know exactly what happened. So today, Gene's residence, the mansion, operates as a bed and breakfast called the Artist House, and visitors can even stay in the old turret bedroom, which is where Robert had resided in. I knew that this was going to be the moment we were like, we have to go.
Haunted bed and breakfast. Haunted bed and breakfast. I want to go. Can we have another paranormal road trip?
Yeah.
First we have the Highway 666. And now we have...
Then we're going to stay at the haunted bed and breakfast.
And then as we're looping back around, we can go hit up the Lizzie Borden house on the East Coast. And then kind of fit. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do that.
And then we can go to Chicago and go to the post office where H.H. Holmes' house used to be. The murder house. Okay,
move aside Zach Bagans. Move aside Josh Gates. New peeps in town.
Heck yeah.
Ghost Adventures? I don't know.
Corey Convertito is a curator at the museum, and she's now Robert's caretaker. She had said, quote, "What people really remember is what they would probably term as an unhealthy relationship with the doll. He brought it everywhere. He talked about it in the first person as if he weren't a doll. He was Robert, as in he is a live entity." So that's pretty much how Gene treated Robert the whole time.
Uh-huh.
And so as an adult, Gene lived in a stately home where Robert could be seen positioned at the upstairs window. And then school children swore that he would appear and reappear, and they avoided the house. Just imagine seeing a doll in one corner of a window, and then you're just walking down the street. You glance back through that window, and he's moved to the other side of that window.
I keep having to remind myself that's the early 1900s, because I'm imagining, school kids, just getting out from 7-Eleven. They got their Slurpees. They're like, "Oh, let's go see Robert." And he's
not
there.
Not back then.
Not back then. Tragic.
It's crazy. Yeah. In 1974, there was a lady named Myrtle Rauter who purchased the Artist House after Otto's death, and she also became Robert's new caretaker.
Okay, so he died. Robert was still in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So visitors would swear that they heard footsteps in the attic and giggling. And some claimed that Robert's expression changed when anyone badmouthed Otto in his presence.
I feel like that's you don't go into a dead guy's house and be like, "Hey, this fucking guy," while his friend's still there.
Right.
Yeah.
Rauda said that Robert would move around the house on his own, and after 20 years of antics, she finally donated him to the museum in 1994.
Wow.
Yeah. But far from banishing Robert to obscurity, his arrival at the museum marked as a turning point for the doll. Since Robert had arrived, visitors have flocked to the museum to get a look at this mischievous toy. He had appeared on TV shows, he had his aura photographed, and he is a stop on a ghost tour, like I said before. And he's also inspired a horror movie. Actually, a couple of horror movies.
Yeah.
And you know that you can actually buy replicas of him at the museum. You can buy books, coasters, and T-shirts of him at the museum.
Okay. When pandemic is calmed down, when we can travel, do you want to go get a really? I think this is a great idea. Let's go get a replica doll, bring it home, assume nothing bad's going to happen, and then be absolutely shocked when things do happen. I'm taking your silence. Yes. Okay. Cool.
Okay. I'm like, if this pandemic ends before this, like when the summer ends, it'll be hurricane season, so you wouldn't want to go to Florida anyways.
Damn it. Tombstone, Arizona, then. Let's go there.
I'm like, winter's great time though.
Are you gonna dress up as a cowboy with me and Alex and go?
I guess. Yeah. Also, since he's arrived at the museum, he's received letters. People often write to him.
That's right.
Let's see. Convertito had said that he probably gets 1 to 3 letters every day, but they aren't typical fan letters.
1 to 3?
They're every single day. They're usually just apologies. Because many visitors had attributed their post-visit misfortunes to failing to respect Robert, or even openly disrespecting him. So they began writing for their forgiveness.
Oh, sorry. Like, imagine you go in and you see all these letters, and then you're still like bad-mouthing him, and then are shocked when bad things happen. Continue.
Right? It's kind of like the Annabelle thing. Like, you hear all these stories of like people dying after leaving there, and you're like, well, I'm just gonna go there and just mess around. It's like, no, that's the opposite of what you do.
Let's not fuck with demons. Let's not do that.
Right? Yeah. I don't think that Robert is truly bad. I think he just wants to be respected because he grew up being respected.
Yeah, that's what it seems like to me.
As an equal. Mm-hmm.
So not necessarily malevolent, more
he grew up old school.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. There we go.
He grew up in a very old school way. He wants the respect.
Is Robert the Doll a boomer?
He probably is.
The haunted boomer?
120 years ago, like 1900s. No,
wait. What's the generation before?
I don't know what the generation before boomers are. I'm not going to look this up.
Okay.
So others would ask for advice or to hex those who have wronged them.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Convertito says that they have received around 1,000 letters by the time that she was quoted for this, and that was like 5 years ago. And they keep all of them and catalog them. Mm-hmm.
That's really smart. That'd be such a fun job. Oh, I want to do that.
Right? He also receives emails and homages. At some point, it became known that Robert had a sweet tooth, so people would leave and send him candy.
I love that.
And then, so like exercise and caution, the museum staff do not consume the treats that were sent to Robert. They're like, that's his. I'm not going to eat it.
Smart. Don't.
Yeah, so guests would leave him sweets, money, and occasionally joints.
People leave Robert the Doll joints.
Convertito, she would say it's completely inappropriate, and we're still a museum. Like, why are people sending joints to Robert?
So, this is the paranormal 420 that I really wanted.
Truly.
It's
amazing.
Everything I wanted.
I'm like, I just want to smoke a joint with Robert.
Robert, let's just chill out. Is that why he has a sweet tooth?
Probably. Is that what he was doing back in the 1900s?
Probably.
Or not 1900s. Is it still
20? Yeah, it's 1900s.
Still 1900s. It's like
20th century.
1901. Yeah, 20th century. I don't know what I'm going about. Okay, where was I?
Haunted 420.
Convertito, the caretaker, she once a year administers a checkup, taking him out of his case and weighing him to assess whether the humid weather in Florida was affecting his straw-filled body.
Oh, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, he's old too. You want to make sure everything's fine and safe and good. She's also his proxy, so receiving and reading all of his emails and letters and running his social media feed. And occasionally, she would also correspond on Robert's behalf. She tries to send something to every child who writes him. She's been quoted to say that, right? She's quoted to say that Jane always had that childlike temperament around him, and we feel like Robert would want to be kind to children and not murder them like other fictional dolls might have. And she's also responded to more poignant ones, such as an email from a girl who was being bullied at school. And so pretty much she was interviewed once asking, like, does she think that he's haunted? And she had said, I don't know. I really don't. I've never had a bad experience with him. I've never felt uncomfortable. It's always been a very basic relationship, and I have a job to do, and I go and do it.
Well, she's respecting
And whether there's something to it or not, he just allows me to get on with my job. And I really like that. She was just like, I don't know, but he lets me do my job, and I am happy with that.
I'm glad they've got like that mutual respect going. That makes me really happy.
Instead of someone who's just like, this is bullshit, I don't know why I'm doing it this way, but like she actually takes care of maintaining a boundary and being respectful, which I think is all he's been about.
Yes. So I'm glad he's in like a good little area for him. And that's really cute that he's nice to kids.
Right? Though apparently Robert's current favorite mischievous act involves casting curses on people who take his photos without asking permission first.
You're supposed to like ask first, right?
To this day, visitors claim that cameras will malfunction in his presence and electronic devices go haywire. The walls near his glass case are covered in the numerous letters from previous visitors and naysayers begging for Robert's forgiveness and asking him to remove any hex that he has cast.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And that is pretty much my story about Robert the doll that I did have apparently on his social media. There was this like contest going on where the curator, his caretaker, had photoshopped his face on Kim Kardashian's body when she like had that photo shoot where she like popped open the champagne and like was pouring it into the glass on her butt. I didn't look for that photo.
I'm on it.
I was just like, I don't understand, but I'm like, obviously, whatever that contest was, like they won by a landslide.
Kim Kardashian. Let's see.
I wonder if
Where
I need to look it up now.
Is this? I would be so bummed if I can't find this. Those are two things I never thought I'd Google together, but here we are.
Right? I think it was on their Facebook page.
Ugh, I'm so bummed I don't see it.
I wonder if they removed it.
I'll Photoshop it myself then, okay.
Please don't.
This is...
I'll just look up his Facebook.
Oh, there we go. See, this is the Paranormal 420 that I wanted. Was it all being photoshopped onto Kim Kardashian's body.
Oh, it's $30 for the little, I can't even see my screen. Let's see. We'll just, the little replica.
Oh, it's little. Oh, he's little. He's so cute.
That is kind of cute. I wouldn't want it, though.
Oh, yeah, one day when we have a little recording studio, put it there.
Oh.
It'll always be Haunted 420, wherever we are.
Yeah, we could put a little bong next to it.
Oh, like he doesn't have to use it, but he's cool and respectful, so he respects it. You know.
Mm-hmm.
We stand Robert the doll in this household.
Let's see.
2020.
Let's see.
This is
These
Robert's
are some
ear.
creepy. Yeah, this is Robert's ear. There are some creepy dolls on this, and I am uncomfortable. Like other creepy dolls on his Facebook page.
Oh, yeah, that sounds right.
Please stop.
Can't stop progress.
Oof.
I think this is why the internet was made, so that Robert the doll would be photoshopped onto Kim Kardashian's body
Right?
to win a contest. That's pretty great. This is
I
really
should have looked it up.
this has been the highlight of my 2020 right here.
It's just finding out about
Yes.
him being photoshopped on someone.
That's so goddamn funny and so good.
I'm gonna find this picture.
I'm looking too. We'll find it.
Oh, there it is. I found it.
That's so good.
November 17th, 2014 on the
Oh,
timeline.
2014? On the timeline?
Yeah. Yeah. It's an old photo. I'm gonna save this. The things I'm gonna have in my phone.
So good.
I'll send it to you. So that way you'll have a picture of it forever.
Help me win some booty.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. I think Alex is dying a little on the inside. Robert,
Well, I sent it in the group chat.
so good. Robert, we're respecting you. I'm saying you're working this.
You're amazing.
If I could still vote for this, I would, because I'd be voting for you.
I would still vote for you. Yeah.
I'll vote for you.
Yep.
Ah, that was such a good story, though. I've never heard about them leaving joints. Thank you for that.
I'm like, it's Florida. Makes sense.
Like, I've never heard anyone else say that, so like hearing that made me so happy.
I read that in like a couple articles. I was like, why?
Because you know
they were like
you might want it.
He's a chill dude. That's why.
Yeah.
And like, it kind of took away some of the fear I have for him.
Yeah.
But like, it made me think like, okay, he's not as malevolent as people perceive him to be.
It's like if you're
He just wants to be respected.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just wants to be respected.
Respected.
Yeah. It's cute how like kids will like send him like letters and candy and stuff.
Well, I'm imagining like that one kid that's getting bullied got advice back and was
Mhm.
like, listen, bully me again, and Robert will have some words with you.
Right?
Like,
It was good.
I'm going to tell my mom kind of bullshit.
I'm gonna tell my haunted doll about
Yeah.
this.
Lawyer, call me haunted doll. Well, dang a ring. So this has been a fun quarantine episode.
It has been. I'm like, I don't know what to do with myself now.
Oh no. I guess if you guys want to talk to us, if you guys want to play Animal Crossing with us, come visit,
Yeah.
come visit our towns.
Yeah. Or we can visit your towns.
Yes, please. You guys want to have an Animal Crossing party? You can hit us up. Or if you got a spooky stories to tell us, please do it. Please.
Yeah.
Please. You can email us at tipsymysteries@gmail.com. You can hit up our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Tipsy Mysteries.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Do you have a song recommendation? Request?
A song request?
Song request?
Yes. My song request is I'll do Mic Drop by BTS.
Mic Drop by BTS. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, hello, Ruby. Ooh, let's see. I'ma do. Bratata, bratata. I didn't plan ahead.
I didn't either, but you said something about mic drop in your story when Shanti was showing all these people how she knew everything.
That's right. She's like, yeah, I know where the fucking bathroom is. Mic drop.
Mm-hmm.
Have I already requested that one? Ooh, my song request recommendation thingy that you guys should
Your
know.
song rec.
My song rec. Ooh, that's a good one. My song rec is going to be Sexy Dancer by Prince. That's a good one. Do you have any parting words of advice for our dear, dear listeners in this time of pandemic fun? Ugh.
Like I said in my Mary Mellon story, wash your hands, stay safe, be careful.
Stay home.
Stay home if you can. If you have to work, for some reason, please be careful. And thank you so much for doing what you can.
Yeah, you guys are. We do not deserve you.
Yeah, for the people who are working and risking their lives for others.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
But yeah, I just stay safe and be careful out there.
Yeah.
And that we care about you guys, I guess, or something like that.
Are these your Pisces walls coming down?
No. Yes. I just think that the people listening are really great. You know, I
guys
think
are
that
the bomb diggity.
Yeah, I think you guys are amazing, and thank you so much for listening and for being part of this podcast with us. And we hope that you've enjoyed this and that we can bring a smile to your face or make you happy in a moment at least.
Yeah, I think we're all getting a little stir crazy, so I don't know. I like having things to talk about people with fun, spooky stories.
Yeah.
It's fun. I like it. It's fun. It's a good thing.
If you need someone to talk to, just message us on any of the social media and we'll be here for you. You know, that's what we want to do, is just share stories and be a good distraction from the crazy things happening in the world. So
yeah, so guys, drink some water, take a walk outside, but in a not super populated area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
get a little bit of fresh air
as a treat. Yeah, so we're here for you guys. You guys are the bomb.com. I think that's it from Ya Gaze.
Yeah, what episode is this?
Oh shit. 18?
18? Did we pass 17? Did we piss on 17?
Wait, let me check real fast. We're really good at this, guys. Yeah, this is 18.
18! Legal age for Americans.
Woohoo!
Anyways.
Hope you guys enjoyed.
Episode 18.
Episode 18. Wash your hands. Be nice. Pet your cat, your dog. Be nice to people.
Be respectful.
Us. Yeah, be respectful. Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
Quote Tipsy Mysteries 2020. Don't be a Richard, guys. Come on. Richard.
Right.
We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks again for listening to Scary Time by Indie Drop-In Network. Check out all of Indie Drop-In shows at indiedropin.com. If you would like your show featured, reach out to us at Indie Drop-In on all social media or go to indiedropin.com.